All right, we're live. Welcome everyone to SEO This Week, episode 169. Thank you all for joining me. This week we have a quite the collection of stories, actually 7 news stories and then a ton of tips and tools. So we'll fly through those. And then for the Meet the Expert section or segment, we have Bruno Souza. You guys may have seen or heard from him, especially if you were part of the SEO spring training. He talked, I think he gave like 2 or 3 presentations, mainly about a platform called Go High Level. It is it's a marketing thing. It's like you do ringless voicemails and SMS and bring all your funnels into it and all your contact management and all that stuff. So it's like a click funnels and all the voice drops and all those tools all thrown into one super package. So he talked about a lot about that. Uh, in the geez, thanks a lot, Joseph. Screwed me all that. In the course of that too, we also talk about building teams and stuff because he is bringing in new clients. And where he gets his teams or how he builds them, who he looks for, in that process. So, 28 minutes for that conversation was actually pretty good. Then for whatever reason, the audio on my Skype recorder is eluding me. So my audio sounds a little bit funny. I think the computer just kind of changed it and picked a different mic, and so you guys get to deal with that joy. With the tools, some screaming frogs. There's a couple tools in there. One of which I'm not sure that if I shared with you or not. So I wanted to share that again, and then some checklists and stuff that you can do to put together your own SOPs, or if you're building your own things for your clients and stuff, you can kind of rip from these checklists and make your own wonderful, snazzy, cool thing. And then a couple things from a tool to hide your CSS and stuff like that. So with that said, I am going to switch over to the screen so you guys can see it. There you go. Okay. So the first story is about bringing retail sales strings to Google search. So if you don't know, I think it was last week or the week before we talked about Google is requiring you to have a merchant center feed if you wanted to get in here at all. And that was primarily driven mainly from from Google Ads. You buy the Google Ads, you have the merchant center feed, you get in there. And then Google said you are not going to get into this carousel at all unless you have a merchant thing. But this week, they're actually bringing that into the search results now for free. So if you have an e-com store and you can get into the merchant center, then get yourself a merchant feed so you can take advantage of this. And so if you have that specific product, you're more likely to show up in that carousel. And then there's rankings right here. And then on desktop, they said is actually going to go into the knowledge graph panel, and you'll have different places that you can get your items. So good imaging and the merchant center feed is pretty a must right now. Just take advantage of some free traffic out of that knowledge graph, both in desktop and mobile. This is a link building article specifically about for SaaS. It actually gets really deep. It's not like the typical articles that you see on the internet. Oh, do guest posting or write article blogs and do outreach and all that madness. But this will actually walk you through finding your competitors, finding their links, doing duplicating that, and then going after your target terms and finding the right ones and all that stuff. So specifically for SaaS companies. Now it says for SaaS companies, but that campaign can actually work for anyone, I think. So this is a really valuable post and well written and documented. There's plenty of outline stuff in there. This is from the folks over at iPull Rank, is the foolproof guide to redirects. What I liked is they actually talked about, or he talked about, the regular HTML redirects, redirects using 301s, redirects using JavaScript, etc. and kind of walk you through the different options that are available, why you want to do them, and then if you don't know, if you're watching my channel and you've never dealt with redirects before, this is a really good one. So it gives you the details, doesn't dumb it down severely so you feel like an idiot reading it, but at the same time you get a lot of decent information out of it, and it's actually pretty lengthy. So I think you will enjoy it. This one is YouTube explains common algorithm and video distribution queries. So basically, what it is they wanted to know that people wanted to know how the algorithm worked, and Google put this thing out. And interestingly enough, the two things that they talked about the most were CTR, click through rate, and viewer duration. So if you have a good CTR and your users are watching it along a lot more, it could be applied that you will rank higher. And that's how the algorithm is, or two of the factors that the YouTube algorithm is applying. So I think this is a good indicator if you are doing a YouTube channel, like SEO this week. I don't really promote it all that much, you know what I mean? So I don't have a large fan base, and like Craig Campbell, where he's got this really stupid large fan base, and according to his metrics, he's getting like 4,000 plus people that go to his show live. That's a lot, right? So that would be awesome if I can get that, but that requires I need to promote, and if I want to promote, it means I need to rank a lot more, and then target some different things. So in order to do that, one of the first couple of things I'll be looking for is how do I get a better CTR out of the Google or the YouTube search algorithm, and then two is how can I increase average viewer duration. So I think those two things are actually, if you think about it, really manipulatable. So maybe a case study is due for an updated CTR manipulation case study on the YouTube ranking search engine, and then the other one is average viewer duration. But as you know, if you guys have been playing around with those, Google's not dumb. The algorithm's not dumb, so that they're able to pick up proxies and all that stuff, and filter out a lot of views. So something to play with for sure, and looking forward to seeing more results from that. This one is who is the mystery shopper leaving behind thousands of online carts. This one actually came up in the middle of the week. It's a Wall Street Journal article. This is the archive version of it, so you don't have to sign into the Wall Street Journal or have a subscription to read it. But what you can do is look at this and figure out why you have some cart abandonment issues. At the short version is Google wrote a bot that was specifically designed to go to your store, put one of your carts your items in the store, and then go to the shopping cart and verify that the price that you gave Google in its merchant fee is the end price of the product after taxes and all that stuff that goes in the cart. Which is, there's a couple of things that are odd to me for that. One is they did not consider the ramifications of having a bot go through, and like say you have 1,000 products and it goes through and adds those 1,000 products to the shopping cart, and there's 1,000 cart abandoned. So not very community considerate in the e-commerce space, because now you have all these shopping cart abandonment things that are essentially a bot, and you might have some retargeting campaigns and all that still build up, and it's just not very good. You got to clean all that crap up. And the second thing is that if you think about it in the taxes aspect of it, is what they wanted to do. They wanted to say if you're selling your product for $47, then when someone gets to the cart, your product is actually $47, and that's just dumb. To say that, to ignore taxes and fees and shipping and handling and all that stuff. I think that needs to be addressed on Google's side. If the product page and the merchant fee agree and they both say $47, then, that's the price of it. You can go anywhere and get a price for a brand new car, or a brand new house, or a brand new toaster, the price would be the price that's listed. You know that, and then we all know that there's going to be taxes, fees, and whatever on the back end of that would actually increase the price. Right? It's not something new. It's basic common sense. So, why Google would expect merchants to be or say that we're testing you for the validity of your price listings? It's just dumb to me. That doesn't make it. That makes zero sense whatsoever. Let's see. Keyword data accuracy and manipulation in SEO tools. This is a case study, and I think we're all, if you've been around more than a day, you know that the keyword tools are wrong, right? Most of them are based off of either click through data or the Google Keyword Planner. And at the end of the day, they're both assumptions that are combinations of traffic volume, especially from a keyword planner. It's combinations of the plurals and related terms and all that jazz and madness. So it really overinflates the terms. But this looks at different tools, how to look at that keyword data and decide for yourself which is the most accurate or which is close enough, and etc., and kind of help you guide you in your keyword research stuff. I think I've talked ad nauseum about, even after you have all those numbers, you should be running a PPC campaign to get the real numbers. The impressions after a week times 4, those are the real numbers based off of your geo targeting or whatever you want to do, right? But this will get you a little bit more closer and help you kind of get the fluff out of looking at those numbers a little bit better. Especially when you find tools that will go for exact match. This is the exact term, and this is the value for that exact term versus bundling them all up or adding the plurals, etc. And you can see how he did that in this study. And then finally, I went around this one. I shared this one, and Matthew Woodward said this out, and the quote of it from it was, "If you are a white hat SEO, you're an idiot." At the end of the day, what he's trying to say is, don't limit yourself to quote unquote white hat tactics, and don't limit yourself to quote unquote black hat tactics. Look at everything, try everything, test everything. Weigh risk versus reward, and then apply that in your SEO, and kind of get away from the white hat versus black hat mentality in the marketing. This will never get away, because at the end of the day, being a white hat SEO is a sales tactic for a lot of people right now. They get to claim that they're a white hat SEO, ride on their high moral horse, and then say, "Oh, we're never going to do bad things. That's only what black hat SEOs do." Which is, it's a sales tactic. Black hat SEO at the end of the day is going to say, okay, Google says these are the rules, but we're going to see what really works, and versus just assuming that Google is telling you everything you need to know and you're going to rank for ages. Money wise, this was probably, especially if you're doing clients, this is just really the best, because you get to drag that out and that campaign out for as long as possible. And in your sales process, you get to say, oh, we're going to do a 6 to 12 month commitment, or 12-month commitment is probably on average nowadays. But we're going to do a 12-month commitment. It's going to take 12 months for you to see results. Well, that's because you're using white hat SEO techniques, right? You're creating endless content. You might generate a bunch of traffic and stuff eventually, but it's going to take a lot of time. Whereas a black hat SEO is more on the faster side. The risk can be higher. Just because it's a black hat SEO technique by definition doesn't make it instantly higher, but it can be higher depending on what you're doing. But I find that black hat SEOs are actually way better testers than white hat SEOs. So, pick your poison. But at the end of the day, you can be the crowd that, just who cares? I'm going to just an SEO and I'm going to find stuff and I'm going to do it that works. Or you can be one of the clowns where I'm a money hat SEO. Okay, homo. Or you can just, stick with your white hat versus black hat mentality. Whatever works for you, it helps you with the sales process, I guess. All right, so the tools and tips list, I got 63 SEO statistics for 2020. This is actually a really good list compiled by Ahrefs. A lot of their own stuff is in there too, but it makes them for really good social media fodder. And you can add that into your questions and answer sections. Hint, hint, hint. Especially if you're doing frequently answered questions from for your SEO blogs or whatever. Screaming Frog Analyzer. This is a Data Studio report. At the end of the day, what you do is you do your run, and then you upload the export files into Data Studio. It pulls all that information together and puts it in nice fancy graphs and stuff to make this a little bit more user friendly. If you've been exposed to Screaming Frog before, it's just not exactly the simplest tool all the time. You're looking at all that data and all those things all mashed together. Data Studio here, using that will clean it up for you. And there's some other tools actually linked onto this, so don't just go to that page and worry about the SEO thing. There's Screaming Frog. Scroll down to the bottom, you'll see a whole new list, and then you'll see a Twitter feed that will, if you think of some more tools and stuff, they actually make them for you. So that'll be good. And then to follow along with that is a guide to actually automating it to run on its own for you using command line. You can do that in Windows or Mac. If you're so inclined, you can set all that up and let it do its thing while you go mow the lawn or whatever you want to do. Bing Webmaster Guidelines, these are just updated, so I thought I'd share those to everybody. And then this is how to find unused CSS and JavaScript with Puppeteer. These are just files that are loading up in your themes or in your CMSs. It's just loading those up and for no reason, and they're being used. For WordPress, there's actually a plugin that will let you not load those on a per page basis. Much more handy for a larger site than a smaller site than a larger site, especially when you do it with that method. But you can actually go through and find a whole bunch of patterns and stuff and maybe get rid of some of the unused CSS and JavaScript site-wide at the same time. So very good if you're a speed junkie like me. Speaking of keyword research tools, here's another one. It's free. According to that case study earlier, that's where I found this one. This data is a little bit cleaner, a little bit, I use air quotes. But you can read the case study first before you go check out the search volume and understand the types of numbers that this thing is spitting out. And then here's the two checklists. The only SEO checklist, whatever, 41, and then 127 points for local. So if you're building your SEO SOPs, this is a great place to start and kind of build that out. For the on-page course, when I get that done, you'll see that that's essentially what I've done. I found a whole bunch of checklists that other people have made. I wrote my own SOPs, and I threw those together, and I have what's called the SEO master spreadsheet with a whole bunch of different people's versions. And then what do we do is come up and I want this, I know this is important, and you just take a whole bunch of people's stuff and mash it together and make it your own thing. So if you're buying courses, if you're reading blogs, if you're doing all that stuff, you should be doing it at the same time. You don't even have to give them credit at that point because you changed everything, right? You've made it better for yourself. You can say thank you for doing it and coming up with an idea, but why not leverage that for the better, right? So I got Ryan Stewart's. He's got the blueprint stuff. I use his stuff quite a lot, and then you mix that in with the other things that you're doing so that your version of that same template looks different. So that'd be pretty good. Okay, so that's the news. I hope that you find those helpful, especially the tools. That's a good set. Last week we were a little weak on that. So now I'm going to jump over to the interview with Bruno, and we'll see you after that.
All right, everyone. This is the Meet the Experts segment of the show. And thank you all for watching. I hope you appreciate these and the effort and time that the guests are putting into to coming. Obviously, we only talk 15, 20 minutes on average. But this week we got Bruno Souza. Hopefully I pronounced your last name properly.
You got it.
Sweet. Bruno, I actually met him at online. Quick met him.
Tinder, right?
Yeah. Yeah, it was Grinder. We met at SEO spring training, um, and before then it was a lot of Skype. I think we chatted a few times before that on Skype and Facebook too, just hanging around and bouncing around groups. So I really don't know a whole lot about you. All I do know is that when you get excited about something, you should not drink coffee at the same time. 'Cause I get I remember when I had that kind of energy. It was awesome. So
Yeah,
tell
I'm
us
on
a little
like
bit
the
about
third
yourself.
cup of the day.
Sweet. So if you would tell us a little bit about yourself. Who the hell are you?
Yeah, so as Clint said, my name is Bruno Souza. I have an agency, Black Swan Media, and really it kind of started from humble beginnings of just ranking my first website and then calling people to sell leads, and that's how I got my first actual SEO client. Somebody was like, hey, if you did that for that website, can you do it for ours? Since then, we've picked up Fortune 500 clients. In the last 2 months, we've picked up 4 more national clients, and our agency's just been really expanding. Almost feels like I'm biting off more than I can chew, and I've had to like even ask a couple of SEOs to like team up and partner up to manage all of this business that's coming in. But other than that, it's like I've been doing SEO for a couple of years now. Originally had a link building agency, and then decided more to get into client SEO and then affiliate SEO.
So when you say agency, are you a one-man band with a whole bunch of outsourcers, freelancers working for you, or you
I have
legit?
like
I've got an office and you all throw shit at each
I
other, and you got to carry them.
so I got an army of VAs. I've always hated the idea of working from an office since I worked in my first office, and I was like, I never want to do this again. So it's kind of like the 300 movie, but instead of 300 Spartans, I have like 300 VAs that got my back.
That works. How did you? Let's just get right off into the topic then. How do you find VAs? Do you hire generalists, like I'm an SEO guy, or do you hire a VA and give him or her a specific task as part of your overall process?
I prefer to hire blank slates, people that have no experience with SEO, people that don't know the value in it, don't know anything about it. And what I do is I'll create training video, kind of like my own little mini courses, but for these people and to educate them in one specific function. So I have VAs that are honestly probably better experts at like building out cloud stacks than most of the SEOs out there. And it's like I have to teach them what is a link, what is link building, how do you find a no follow versus a do follow link. And so I'll go through and teach somebody from scratch my exact process and methodology. And that's kind of why I like the blank slate, because I don't want anybody who's already like corrupted or tainted or like they have their own ideas about how things work.
Yeah, that makes sense. Do you ever cross train them on other tasks? Like you get this one superstar that's good at building cloud stacks, for example. And I don't know if you're doing them, but I'm assuming you're going to do you do IFTT stacks and having them intermingle and that kind of stuff.
Absolutely. A couple of my VAs, they actually know everything in terms of link building when it comes to cloud stacks, Google stacks, IFTT syndication networks, running all the link building software. And they actually manage their own small little VA team that I hired to help them fulfill all the tasks. So if there's a VA that I see, it's like, oh, this person speaks, they're able to communicate. That's like the number one thing that I look for. It's like they're able to communicate, attention to detail, and they're able to follow instructions. And if I see somebody like rising like that, then I'll teach them more things. And if they're getting a hold of it, then I'll give them their own little team to work with. So right now I got about 3 managers.
Where are you hiring at? You're hiring at like India, Philippines, Pakistan, Croatia.
Philippines.
Philippines a lot?
Yeah.
Like I was hiring from Philippines and I was doing onlinejobs.ph. And I was like throwing, mud at a dartboard and hoping to hit a bullseye with it. It was that horrible. You know what I mean? How are you finding yours?
I used to do Upwork, but then I didn't like it at all. And I actually still use onlinejobs.ph. Like you post one job application, I'll get like 1,000 applicants, and I'll kind of filter out like maybe 5 to 6 people that look like they're promising. Normally, I like to work with, I like to hire women. I feel like guys can be very shady sometimes. It's like, I don't know, I have a very high sense of distrust for those guys, but then like the women seem to they seem to be very good at what they do. I hope we can still say that in 2020, Clint. I hope I don't get you like deplatformed or something now.
No, I totally agree with that. It's like I've gotten 4 Filipino men out of there, um, and I like working with them, but I wouldn't trust them with a bag of candy. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
they do the specific set of things. But then I hired a program manager from the Philippines, and she was like awesome. And
Yeah.
and she was. I tell her what I want to do. I give her the systems to do it, and she was off and running. That's the kind of my experience too. Is just the females, they don't, ego doesn't play a role in a lot of their resumes. So honestly, what you see is what you get, regardless of the Philippines or not. It's just females, in my opinion, they just don't have that. I'm sure they have the ego, but it doesn't reflect as dishonestly in their resumes. So I found the same thing.
Yeah, and I think guys naturally have like a more competitive nature, so it's like you hire on a male VA and like he's gonna learn what you have and then probably go try to do his own thing. Whereas like, I don't know, naturally I feel like females are less competitive. And I don't know, maybe in the Philippines they're like that. But yeah, just way better experience hiring female VAs than male ones.
I wouldn't say less competitive.
Yeah, well,
So,
I can't think of the right word.
SOUZA. I would say
maybe competitive isn't the word.
Yeah, they're competitive. I, I don't know. I don't even want to say more loyal. It's just if you treat your employees right, generally you're going to get the same treatment back in the quality of work and stuff. But in my opinion, the female staff member is less likely to do the look, there's a chicken, and cross the road for the grass, the greener grass on the other side, and walk away with all that time that you invested and take it somewhere else. So.
Yeah, you know what? That's a way better way of phrasing what I'm trying to communicate.
That's all right. I'll make sure I spell your name right in the description. So
Oh God, the end of me now.
What about, because I'm focusing on people who are affiliates and business owners and stuff. So let's say I'm a plumber and I don't have. Shut up! I don't necessarily have the resources to hire a Bruno Souza type agency to do my marketing. What are some of the things that I, as a plumber, and I'm looking to hire for piecemeal stuff, do you, like a Fiverr, Legit, that kind of stuff, do you recommend those types of services for locals?
I don't. I do use Fiverr and some of those services myself, but I feel like if you're a small local business and you don't necessarily have the marketing budget yet to hire somebody like us, the best thing that you could do is try to form like a lead generation deal where you'll pay X amount based on appointments and then hire an SEO or kind of do some performance-based marketing to get your feet off the ground. And the reason why I don't think like a business owner should go into marketing themselves and like try to buy things off of Fiverr is because one, they're like, let's say I give you like a super fast, high-powered Tesla, but it's a stick shift and you don't know how to drive stick shift, it's not really going to do anything for you. And so it's like, I feel like you can give these people all the right tools, but if they don't know how to leverage them, it's not really going to be beneficial in any way. Like if anything, they're probably going to do more damage to their website than they're going to be doing. Like maybe there will be benefit, but it's just, I see a lot of business owners, they get stuck in like this frame of I'm going to do everything myself and like their company never grows. Like eventually they'll just all end up going out of business. So my suggestion is try to look for a risk-free lead generation deal that you can get like some kind of SEO to strike with you.
Right. And that goes along with the agency stuff too, right? So just remembering that you're not an expert of everything. And like me, I'm really good at SEO. I'm okay at setting up systems, but I'm kind of a shit boss because if I take the time to give you the system, then implement it. Don't come to me with 190 questions about things that are not in that SOP. I gave you the roadmap. Just go do the damn thing. You know what I mean? So
Uh-huh.
that's kind of how I think. And then, I don't know if you know Carolyn Holtzman, but like when I hire um, SEOs, if you tell me you're an SEO, dear God for in heaven, don't come and ask me about what is H1 and how to set up schema. SEOs should know that stuff. That's all basic stuff. So, and that ties in with what you're saying is if I'm a plumber, I worked really hard to be a plumber. I did my apprenticeship, I got my licenses, my insurance, I got my truck, all my supplies and everything. What the hell do I know about marketing? So, how, at what stage do you? Obviously, we're marketers, so you're kind of biased in this question. But what stage do you think a business owner should be looking at? I need to get into digital now, and I need to switch from PPC to SEO.
So I think, once again, I think I'm also biased because I'm a marketer, but my answer to that is immediately. Like, go take out a business loan, go get started. But the risk with that is, like, that's if they're going to hire me or you or somebody that knows what they're doing. But the risk I feel like is like for every 5 SEOs that, or if you take 6 SEOs, only one of them probably knows what they're doing, or only one of them is actually cost effective. The other 5 are not cost effective, don't know what they're doing, or they're just really slow. And so that's kind of like the risk versus the reward. It's like I almost feel like business owners should immediately start their marketing. And we don't really take on really small clients anymore, but the first client that I ever took on, they were very small, family owned. It was just like one gentleman and his brother. And then 2 years later, it's like now he's got a fleet of trucks. They just finally got their first like big office, and it's like I got to watch them grow, and that was kind of a beautiful thing. But like when they started working with us, they had no money. They did take a loan to hire us for SEO services, but we were actually able to deliver for them. And because of that, they're now in a much better position. But it's like, if you manage to get an SEO that's going to do you right, then I think it's 100% worth it.
Do you have gauges for trust? Like I can pretty much ask an SEO, what are you charging? And then I can gauge their actual skill level based off of what they say they charge. Because guys like you and me, we charge what we're worth. And we know we can provide for that, and we know we're not ripping you off, and we're not getting greedy because the margins for SEO are actually pretty damn good. Versus, what would your opinion be if someone said, I just got an email or I saw that Facebook ad where I can do SEO for 10 keywords for $99?
I don't even know if I would call that SEO, but it's like for $99, it's like maybe there's like some people in a third world country that they'll run pop and do like a really good job at doing on-page optimization. It's like maybe the next month at $99 they'll build out some citations for you. So it's like it is possible. Like I would trust somebody in like a third world country more than a first world country that are charging those rates. But at the same time, it's like I think it's so penny wise and dollar foolish that I don't like it, but I see both sides of it. It's like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, but knowing what it takes to make a real campaign work, I can tell you that it would cost me 500 to 750, depending on the level of your website.
Yeah.
That's how much my cost would be to rank your website, and that would be over like a 3-month period of $1,500 a month. I'm gonna make probably $1,000 off of that. So it's gonna cost me $500, and the value you're getting for that extra 1,000 is I know which buttons to push, which providers to get to, how to get it done fast, that kind of thing versus that 99 guy. Here's what I see the $99 SEO doing. They're going to submit your website to the Google Search Console, to the Bing and Webmaster tools, and say we submitted your website. So we gave you GoDaddy SEO. Now you have GoDaddy level SEO. They're going to make you a map. Maybe if you're a local business, they're going to quote unquote make you a map, which you can do yourself for free. But there's people, as well as I do, there's people scamming, charging $99 to make a Google, claim your Google listing. And then they're going to get you some citations. But they can't buy citations for $99. There's no profit there because even the cheapest one is $4 a citation. It's the cheapest one that I know. Unless they know direct to the source. They got a cousin or something that does citations for them. So your $99 is not gone anywhere towards link building. I haven't even mentioned link building once. The citation stuff is there, but it's zero. There's a zero-sum game. 0 plus 0 equals 0. So it's brand new pages, brand new links. There's absolutely nothing for them. So I find it interesting. I find it disheartening that you even had to say 1 out of 6 SEO probably knows what they're doing. And I would even make that even less. Probably 1 out of 4 knows what they're doing in order to create a really good campaign. Actually, 1 out of 10. 1 out of 10 is worse. 1 out of 10. And you can see that in our own SEO groups. You see that in our community. You talk to business owners and stuff. And that's, when you got a business owner that says, I've been through 4 SEO companies, there's a couple of red flags right there. So one is they've met a lot of shit SEOs, and then 2, he thinks he knows what SEO is, and he's probably got no patience for it. Right? So that leads us into the discussion where I wanted to have you on is Go High Level. Go High Level is a platform. You've kind of broke this down in a little bit better English, but tell us in your words what Go High Level is and how valuable that would be.
Sure. So anytime somebody asks me what is Go High Level, it's like a little bit hard to start describing because it's really like an all-in-one marketing tool. But whenever you hear all-in-one, the first thing that you think of is like jack of all trades, master of none. Like this is going to be mediocre at everything that it does, but it's actually insanely good at everything that it does. And if I had to describe what it is, it's like if you were to take a funnel builder plus a tracking system plus a CRM, and then you were like mash it like phone tracking, call tracking, number tracking, text messaging, emailing, Facebook Messenger, like all these different marketing systems, and you were just like smash all these things into one really good tool and then have it just be one flat price for unlimited usage. That's what the tool is. The function that it serves for us is that it's our ultimate lead generation tool for bringing in business.
Do you think that it's something that only agency owners can do, or can a local business, provided they have the people, the know-how to leverage it, can they get an account over there too?
They can, and the people in the Go High Level group are going to kill me for saying this, but I actually do think that if you're a local business owner and you are interested in marketing, you shouldn't be doing your SEO, but you can definitely set up something like Go High Level for your business. Like 1,000% that every business should have some kind of CRM set up, and it just so happens that Go High Level is one of the ones that delivers the most value.
The coolest feature that when you and I were talking about it before I got started was the list reawakening. I think it's like really valuable right now because everyone's coming out of Corona, or they're adapting to the current challenges that Corona is having right now to small business. So, can you tell us a little bit about that list reawakening process?
Yeah. So every business, they have they're sitting on a gold mine. And this gold mine is their database of clients or leads that have come in the door over like the last 2 to 3 years that maybe these people closed, maybe they didn't close. Doesn't matter. What matters is they have all this contact information. If they're a really small local business, like a lot of times it'll be on the business owners, it'll just be on their cell phone because they don't have a proper tracking system yet. But when you start working with the more professional companies, it's like they'll have a QuickBooks or a HubSpot, Pipedrive, Salesforce, they'll have that list somewhere. What we do is we take that list, we plug it into Go High Level, and then we run a proven text message campaign, and we'll get anywhere from, depending on the niche, 1 to 10% of that list to convert into appointments that actually show up to purchase services. So if it's like a remodeling company and they give me a list of like 10,000 people, let's say it's like a large remodeling company, I can expect to get them about 100 clients in 20 minutes worth of work, and it's all automated. And those are people in the door within like the first week of these people transacting with me. If it's a gym, they have much higher conversion rates. I can expect anywhere from 4 to 10%. So a list of 2,000, which is the average list that a gym will give me, we can get anywhere from 40 to 80 appointments guaranteed for people to go sign up for their services.
And a business owner can also use that for notifications, right? So, like here in Arizona, gyms were open, and they got closed again yesterday.
Yep.
You can do notifications for when they're coming back open again, right?
Correct. It replaces email marketing, and besides just replacing the email marketing portion of it, it also gives you more communication channels, like doing voicemail drops, doing text messages, doing email as well.
Yeah.
Like one of the cool little things that we do for voicemails is we'll take a gym and they'll, like, let's say it's a kids training program. We'll have everybody sing like a happy birthday song without a name in it, but we'll do a voicemail drop on that child's birthday to their parents. So it's like, oh, look, the gym just left you a happy birthday voicemail. So it's like you can get really creative with the marketing that you're doing here.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. I'm going to have to swipe that idea. I like that. So I don't want to turn this into a sales pitch. You were kind of accused of that at SEO Spring Training. It was pretty funny. And I was laughing the entire time. But how does let's talk about affiliate stuff. Can affiliates use Go High Level? Because you said there's landing pages in here too, right?
Yeah. So I know a lot of affiliates right now, they'll use something like ClickFunnels, and Go High Level completely replaces ClickFunnels. And in fact, you can hijack other people's funnels. Like, let's say, I don't know, when I think of affiliate, the first thing that comes to mind for like the average person who's into marketing is going to be ClickBank. If you find somebody who has an affiliate offer built through ClickFunnels, you can take that URL, plug it into Go High Level, and it'll rebuild the entire page out, and boom, you now have an affiliate funnel built out in a couple of clicks.
That's awesome. That was one of the things that attracted me to it. So I'll be like, full disclosure, you've got a course, and I've been paying for Go High Level for 2 months now. But I wanted to kind of get locked in under you for the agency thing, and I just haven't used it yet. I'm straight up haven't used it. Like, I've gone in there and I've clicked around, and you've given me a campaign, and it's like, ooh, pretty, and then I walked away. So how do you have a course that helps people leverage it more, right? And you're selling that. How much is that course?
So there's really two, because I wanted to make it very fair for people. For about like $6, they'll learn how to do database reactivations. They'll learn how to sell them. And it's like, if you know, I can almost guarantee, like, if you go through that course, you can pick up your first client in like an hour after going through the course, after you make a couple of phone calls, because it's like, here's the product, here's how you sell the product. And then there's a second course where it's like, well, now if you want to fill up your pipeline, you can pick up this course that teaches you how to automate the process of getting clients for $200.
Nice.
Yeah. So.
And then, what are the prices for Go High Level? I know I'm paying like $297, I think it is, for the agency, and that gives me a whole bunch of bells and whistles. But what are the other prices?
So you get full access to Go High Level for $97 per month, but that is for one location. You're on the, which means you can have unlimited locations. So that's the $297 plan. They have another plan, I think it's like $800 per month, but I wouldn't recommend it because you just get like a mobile app, like your own white label mobile app that your clients can download. That's is just like a little bit ego driven, not worth it. But that's my personal opinion. But it's like those are the two main plans. It's like 97 and 297.
Yeah. Sounds like something to upgrade to you. I need more of a tax deduction or something. And then they do have an affiliate program, which is kind of how you became their, I would say, advocate, really. But I know it was been around for a while, but you kind of talked about it the most. So, how does their affiliate program work? Like for me, I signed up under you, you get paid. But then, if people will watch this and they sign up clicking my affiliate thing, because I'm a greedy capitalist and I'm gonna share my link, not yours.
That's only fair. It's your show.
Does that pass forward to you?
Yeah. So I need to make another course on this. This is actually one of the biggest like to-do list things, but it's like their affiliate program is so. Can I swear on the show?
Oh yeah.
You know what? I was gonna say it's so kick-ass because it's like you get 40% recurring, and then anybody that you sign up, I just get 5% of that on the back end as well.
So
it has two tiers.
Yeah. That's pretty awesome. I'm kind of looking forward to that. Yeah, so I'm going to do pretty much the same thing you did, and maybe even just swipe your course and put it up and call it mine, and maybe give something like that away as part of thanks for signing up, but here's how I use it. You know what I mean? Because I think it has different perspectives on everything.
Yep.
So if you're watching this and you want to sign up to Go High Level under Bruno, where can they find you to connect with you? And if they do sign up with you, do they get a copy of your course?
Yeah. So if anybody signs up, it's like they'll get the database reactivation training course that for 97% off, and it comes out to $6 or like $5.91. And the best place to connect with me is going to be through Facebook. It's like shoot me a message on Facebook. We have a group that we'll invite you to. And I'd prefer if like you have questions or you want to chat, it's like let's just do it all through social media.
Oh, nice. Social media generation. How old are you, by the way?
I am 16.
Yeah, you look 16.
I'm kidding.
You got the whole fuzzy 24. Thing going on. You started growing that in April, I'm sure.
I've been like waiting. I'm hoping by the time I'm 30, I can actually grow a beard. That's another big thing on the to-do list.
Make it happen. Make it happen. I got this. This is all like internet. I can do kind of the mustache, but it gets it bugs me. So, but this is the only place. Like the rest of my face is just like patches. This is it. That's all I got.
I don't want to hear that, Clay. Like I want to imagine myself with a full beard at 30.
Yeah, it ain't gonna happen. Never. It ain't happening right now. All right, man. Thank you very much for coming on the show. I appreciate you spending the time.
Yeah, my pleasure.
There you go. I hope you enjoyed that. If you want to look up and check out Go High Level, my link is down below. There's a 14-day free trial. If you want to wait, I'll actually do a walkthrough of it. Like I said before, I got it because it's got the funnel builder in there, and it's got ringless voicemails and the SMS. And that's 3 different services that all I get consolidated into one. So it was kind of a no-brainer to me. One of the cool things that I liked is the ability to go through there and use, check out ClickFunnels, find funnels that may or may not be doing good but look cool, and just import those right into Go High Level and rebuild their landing pages. If you are if you catch on to that, you can actually do that with landing pages for products that you're affiliated with, etc., and build those quote unquote funnels over again inside of your own Go High Level account, and then redirect to the checkout page with your affiliate URL thing. So that kind of takes advantage of other people's work and research. You can copy that and apply it to your own little thing, and make a little bit of money off of the affiliate plays that way. So plenty of uses for Go High Level. Like I said, as I get through and I'm able to have some time to set up that part of my business, because that's all that'll be what's running Digital Ear. then I'll go and do a video and we'll actually do a walkthrough versus just hey, this is a cool thing to look at. So that's how that goes. All right, so I want to do questions and answer section just because we got a few more minutes. So I don't see all that many in the box now. So if you have some, let me know. And in the meantime, I'm going to scroll up and let's see here. Brittany, have you seen the comments though? He's buying those. That must be Craig Campbell and the my comments on his YouTube views. So to be honest, he's a known black hat, right? He tells you he's black hat, so that doesn't surprise me at all. It would be interesting to see how that actually works out for him in the style of ranking and actually legit views. Is that paying off for him? Is that a value added benefit? But at the end of the day, for me, I think the only reason to do that, it would be worth doing that, is to get some short-term attention and then maybe some ranking bonus. But I've done the fake views thing before with SEO this week, and it didn't really help one way or the other. I was always able to rank this show when I was trying with descriptions and tags. So that'd be interesting to see how that plays out. I think the average viewer retention rate would probably be more useful for if you're doing like that kind of thing. So maybe you get the viewer retention rate out of buying those views at the same time. That would be maybe that's taking care of that. So it'll be interesting to see if he does a case study on that. Let's see. What else? Some Joseph. How many links are you building to each of your tier 1 best links? That's how many how many 2x4s does it take to build a house? It just depends on the plan and how big your house is, right? So I can't really say that a general number. I'm building 1,000 typically. I have a campaign in SEO autopilot. I run that, and then I can run GSA to those. That's the standard plan. And then you can do niche edits and guest posts or 301 redirects to your PBNs if you want to, etc. So it depends. Is really I hate giving the it depends answer because it's kind of like a cop out. But for the fact of the matter is, for a question like that, it does depend. What is the competition level like? If I build 10 links to my 10 tier 1s each, did I rank? Well, if I did, then I don't need to build any more. But if I didn't, then maybe I should build another 10. You know what I mean? So it depends. Let's see. And looking at getting up, is there much of a setup for WP offload? If you guys don't know, in case you haven't seen that episode, we talked about WP offload and the value it has on SEO Fight Club and pushing your images to S3 and setting that up as your CDN. The first time you do it, Brittany, you're gonna kind of pull your hair out and take you a little bit. If you do that process over and over again, it actually gets a lot faster. The hardest part at the end of the day is really just setting up AWS, getting in there, clicking around and mashing the right buttons. After that is pretty much self-explanatory, and the plugin handles most of that stuff for you right off the bat. I had it on Digitaleer actually for the longest time, and I don't know if you remember, S3 crashed for a while, and it took all my images off. So there's the downside of using them. But that being said, it was the first time ever that AWS crashed, and then it never crashed again. So, but I just never went through the process of setting it back up again because I was doing other things at the time. So, but I'll get that all done on Digitaleer, and that'll be part of the What Ranks course. I might actually just walk you guys through that here on SEO this week too, just so you can see it, because I think it's a really cool tool. And if you're leveraging AWS on top of Cloudflare, on top of your optimizations on your site, you can actually make it stupid fast, which is good for the ego, not necessarily, plus or minus for rankings, but it's good for the ego and users like it. So why not do it? Let's see the links question from Joseph. Are you setting up syndication at IFTT? I do it, but I do it just because I'm doing the branding. So if you guys don't know, the IFTT network is published on your site, and then it'll syndicate to the other sites and automatically build links for you. So I do it because we're setting up all those sites anyway for branding to make sure we solidify the brand play. And try to get a knowledge graph for that business, right? So, by default, I mean, if we're going to set that up, why not turn on the rest of that stuff? So we just go ahead and do it. One of the things I don't like about IFTT is that it sends out, it'll build new links on those properties that you built, like your WordPress, your Blogspot, etc., right? But it doesn't do a really good job at building backlinks to those, and there's no reporting on it. So after you send it out, I don't get the backlink, I don't get the URLs unless I send a VA to do it manually, and that's just kind of a waste of time for me. So hopefully one day someone will come up with a solution where if I syndicate to my WordPress.com, the URL comes back to me in the tool. And now I get a whole list of these are the syndications for that. You know what I mean? And then now you can build backlinks to that set and increase the power of your network while increasing the power of your new tier 1 backlinks that are pointing at your posts. So that'd be really cool to pull off. I imagine that you could do that if you have find properties that have RSS feeds and then get a reader and pull it all in. And when there's a change on those products, then you get a new RSS feed. But I'm not sure any other way to do that process. But that would be pretty cool to see that. All right, I think that's. I don't see any more questions. So unless you guys have any more, I think we're gonna call it a day. Let's see. No, I don't see anything else. All right. So if you could, thumbs up, thumbs down, engagement's engagement. So I appreciate it. Hit the subscribe button if you're not subscribed already, and click on the little bell to get notified when these shows come up. And again, Go High Level is in the description. The link is there for that trial if you want to check it out. For PPL next week. Oh yeah, I do owe Brittany a PPL conversation. Remember, we're going to start that whole process on learning starting the roofing PPL. And what I decided to do is I'm going to have a meet the expert, and then the roofer PPL, and then meet the expert, and then roofer PPL. So because the PPL stuff, you guys know, for building a site, we're going to do all the keyword research and all that madness and talk about PPL. Then I want to give it a fair amount of time versus having a 3-hour long show. So that's how we're going to handle that. So next week, obviously, we'll do the keyword research for the PPL project. And then the week after that, I am looking to have Marty Marion on for the Meet the Expert for talking about branding and brand positioning with SEO to kind of leverage new challenges and get ahead of the competition. So I hope you guys all join me for that too. And with that said, thanks again for watching SEO This Week, episode 169. I'll see you next week.